candle in the light. Now, as soon as I do this, I'm changing the conversation, but that helps.
love this one because this one is about the ongoing story of all of us. Together during 1 week in Marrakesh.
So everybody, welcome back to day 3. So good to see you here. I'm just cracking up. There's so many people coming in. Mary, Lynn, you guys really write a lot. It's so good. I mean, you're saying like what the weather's like, what you're figuring out, learning. I love it. Nice to see you, Dee and Carla, Deborah, Marshall, Mark. Oh my God. And in Facebook, we see you guys. Okay, so I see so many names here, and it's just really good to see you all here. And we've got familiar names from past years in the Creative Visionary Program, from our memberships, from our destination workshops, and of course, the creative team is in here. So some of you come every single year for this free event. I know it because I see the same people, and I just love that. So we're not just like running a workshop, we're building a community. And now you're all part of this. So doing art together like this is how we get the results we do at Art2Life. This community part, and we haven't really talked about it. We're talking about all these principles and everything, but the big thing is that we're doing it together. So I just want to share a couple, just great comments. There's so much good stuff you guys are sharing. Michelle from yesterday said, it reminded me that the act of creating is giving myself permission to exist and to unlock or unfold the inner layers I instinctively want to protect, right? Like it's an unfolding, it's an opening. And yeah, that's the vulnerability. That's a little tricky, right? Kate says, she's got this great story. She went to this workshop in Santa Fe in the 70s, and they were having a big drumming night. And I was given a drum, but told by the kind man that I didn't know how, and she said she didn't know how to drum, and he hands her a drum. And he looks at me so wisely and said, everyone can drum. Everyone is a drummer. And she goes, and I did drum, and I found I knew music and rhythm, and I am a drummer. We have this inside of ourselves, and I know it seems daunting, but everyone's an artist. I love that. Shirley, the past 2 sessions have been a revelation to me. It's a reset. I feel about 7 years old, as though I'm exploring and finding art all over again. This is what we want. What she's talking about is wonder. We had it as little kids, and we want to hold on to that. That's youth, right? That wonder, that ability to play and be surprised. Okay, so before we get going today, I want to announce the winner from yesterday's session. Our day 2 winner of the premium Art2Life kit is Joan Rutledge. So Joan, thank you for showing up live. Just email our support team to claim your prize. And for everyone else, you guys don't forget that at the end of our session today and every day you'll be able to enter for another chance to win, right? You just have to be here live. Okay, all right, let's drop in here. On Monday, I shared the 3 pillars of making authentic art. That's where we started. And we started on Monday with the artist mindset, all about replacing those limiting beliefs with essential truths. And yesterday, we started diving into the principles, the first being design. So today we're going to be talking about the second principle, value. And today in our art making session, we're going to start applying these first two principles of design and value onto our playful exploration. So it's really, really practical. You're going to start connecting things today. You're going to see how the principle of value can not just amplify your art, but also your life. This is going to be huge. Today's session is about value, and I have 3 essential points to make. And these are in page 19 of your work. I think it's page 19. Yeah, page 19 of the workbook. So it's all in there, and I want you to fill it out. These are really important. I'm going to be hitting these 3 points a lot. First of all, what value is. The lightness or darkness of a shape or area. That's what it is. Secondly, our eye notices the biggest value difference between light and dark, above everything else. Thirdly, and this is called value contrast. It's what our eye sees first when looking at a piece of art. Value contrast is the difference between light and dark, right? That's what our eye notices, the biggest value difference between light and dark. That's value contrast. And it's what our eye sees first when looking at a piece of art. The reason this is so important, because understanding value and value contrast specifically, it gives you control over what people notice in your art. And what people notice in your art is what they experience. And what they experience is what they remember. So you get to control how people experience your art. Like, you can amplify things. That's why this matters so much. I really want that to land for you today, right? So before we go deeper into value, we're going to dive into that. But something came up yesterday, a whole bunch, and I want to address it. This question, this kind of thought is percolating here. And again, it was one of those things. This is the question the big question that keeps coming up. Is it too late to step into the artist I was meant to be? Should I have started this 20 years ago, right? So I just want to address it. Grandma Moses didn't start painting seriously until she was 78. She didn't even start. 78. She lived an entire life first. She raised children, she worked on farms, she loved, she remembered, and that's exactly what made her work powerful. Henry Matisse, he reinvented himself in the 70s. He became really ill and was limited. He was mostly bedridden. And instead of stopping, he started making those cutouts. Some of the most radical, joyful work of his entire career. I know you've all seen this work. He did that mostly in a bed. At Art2Life, we're teaching, what we're teaching isn't like, it's not how to copy, it's not tricks, it's not trends. We're teaching authentic voice, emotional truth, discernment, curating what matters, and how to be a more alive, joyful, and playful. Those aren't beginner qualities. Those are lived qualities. Art isn't like gymnastics competition. It's a wisdom practice. The art you can make now, you couldn't make it if you were 20 years old. Like, the art you're making now, you couldn't make it when you were little, when you were young. Not because you lacked talent, but because you lacked life, all that experience. The real question isn't, am I too old? The real question is, how much longer am I willing to postpone becoming who I'm meant to become? I hope that makes sense, right? Just drop into that for a second. Let me know in the chat. Type now if you know your time is now. And while you're doing that, I just want to tell you, in our communities, you guys, we have members who are in their late 80s. This morning, and I was talking to Kate about this, in one of our community programs, Shar Freeman, she's in her late 70s. This is this morning at 6 a.m. She shared how one of her paintings was just discovered by this dance director, and it's going to become this giant backdrop for this dance performance in Hawaii. And she's saying, she's like, I am living my best life. And her philosophy is this: you can sit on the ledge watching others fly by, or you can take the leap and jump yourself and get the air under your own wings. This is what she said this morning. Isn't that great? I love that. So I love seeing this. Yes, now, Sue, Kim, Patricia, Mary, Sherry, Debs, beautiful. Yeah. And in the Facebook group, Lamar, nice to see you here. Christy Duncan. Okay, now, my time is now at 78. Nice, Luann Robb. You guys, it's not about age, right? You get that. I love it. Okay, I hope this helped a little. I mean, I know it's kind of like diverted a bit, but I just think it's so important. These are the things that just get in our way. Okay, let's get back on track here. Let's dive into the principle of value. Okay, how can I start this? All right, right now, I'm in this room, standing here. You guys can't see it, but there's all my favorite people are here. I've got the team, I've got all my friends, and I'm doing one of my favorite things, which is this, but I'm surrounded by all color, all the paint. We have all these flowers here, and everywhere I look in the room, there's my banana plant over there, which I love. I feel good. That's not accidental. That's curated, right? That's for this week, right? This studio, like, it's not always like this. Sometimes it's kind of empty, it's kind of cold, but this week, this free celebration, this blueprint workshop, it's intentional. And you can do that in your life too. So ask yourself, what do I actually want in my life? What brings me most alive? What are the experiences, the environments, the people, rituals that generally light you up? When you see more of those things, you feel better. And when you amplify what you love, you feel more like yourself, the best version of yourself. There's a reason Marie Kondo built this huge global following around this idea of just simply tidying up. Her whole philosophy is really simple. Keep what sparks joy and release what doesn't. Why does that work? It works because it feels good to only see what you love. When your closet is full of clothes, you don't wear any. I can relate to this slide, I swear to God. When your closet is full of clothes, you don't wear any more. It feels like this. It feels heavy. But when you edit it down to the shirts you actually love, you open the door and you feel lighter, clearer, more alive. So this relates to value, because value is all about what you're choosing to notice. It's about what we decide matters. So it's not about doing everything in your life. It's about choosing what you do, what you love. You can have 50 shirts. You can have as many ideas in a painting, but you choose which ones get priority. Why? Because what you amplify and choose to highlight affects how you feel and everyone else looking at it. So here's a question. What are the conditions you need to thrive? Maybe it's, morning tea at 6, or yoga, or dance, or maybe it's that quiet time of reading before anyone else wakes up. Maybe it's kind of certain music. This music for me is giant. Clothing, certain people. You want to remember them. You want to identify them and write them down. Review them. You got to remind yourself of it. So what are the conditions you need to thrive? We call it blooming at Art2Life, to become more fully you, to become full spectrum, right? The best version of you. What are the conditions you need to thrive? Community, for me, is it. That's giant. I couldn't imagine doing what I do without all the team and all of you. And so jot the answers down. There's a little space actually on page 19, right below the value scale. I want you to write this stuff down because it's important for you for where you're headed. When you amplify, so find that little spot in there on that page. I just want, I want you to be working on this book. So make sure you've got that on the workbook. When you amplify and create more of those conditions and reduce the others, your energy rises, your frequency lifts. That's what flow state really is. It's being in alignment with what feels true. And we talk about flow state in art, right? That's when you're just in the groove. It's being in alignment with what feels true to you. So know this, what you focus on, what you choose to think about changes how you feel. And how you feel changes what you create. Turns out it's all an inside job. It's all inside of us. Isn't that amazing? So let's talk about clarity. So imagine someone walks into your house and it's just overflowing with all kinds of things. Every surface is filled. Every chair has something on it, just overflowing. That person who walks in, they would have no chance of understanding what you love. But if they walk into your home and see carefully chosen photos on the mantle or that plant you adore or a few meaningful objects, they start to understand you. I know you because I can see what matters to you. So that question, what matters to you is we got to figure that out. And here's a simple thing for this metaphor. If there was a fire, what would you run back in to grab? That's what matters. That's clarity, right? It's like, I only have 2 minutes. I'm going to grab those photos. I'm going to grab that, whatever the things are. You want to identify those things first. Put them in your journal, look at them, sit with them. The clearer you guys are, the more others can feel it. Do you see how your life can become more like a work of art? It's both. So remember yesterday I showed you those 2 colors? Remember, I think it was these. It was easy to choose what you loved, right? Some of you you could look at it, instantly, it's really clear. But imagine if I add a 3rd color, right? Or, a couple more colors, it becomes really difficult. The signals, there's too many signals, you can't see. It's harder to choose, it's hard to see. You've got so many things going on, it becomes confusing. Too many things create noise. But watch as I remove some of them, clarity returns. Removing another and another, and the message sharpens. It's not about throwing everything away. It's about choosing what you want to emphasize. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing in art. That's what we're doing in our life. Discernment, which I just love that word, it improves both. So this question that we keep coming back to, what do you truly love? We want to also apply it to your art. That's the North Star. When you create more of what you love, the energy rises, the clarity increases, your frequency lifts, your art gets better. First for you and then others. Okay, so let's dive into it. Today's principle is value. So going back to what we talked about earlier, those 3 points about value, we're going to roll through those. Value, the lightness or darkness of a shape or area. So let me just talk about that right now. Okay, so I will make a mark over here. That's value, right? It's the lightness or darkness of a shape or area. So this is dark and this is light. That's pretty clear. And our eye notices the biggest value difference between light and dark above all else. So my eye goes to here, right? Goes right here. That's where we look. High value contrast. We're not going to look down here. There's nothing really to see down here. You know, we can have something that's almost there, but our eye, you can barely see that. We go here where there's contrast. Okay. Beautiful. So that's value contrast. Now, when we look here, first, what we see, making a little mark here, the higher the value contrast, the more we look at it, the more we notice it. So our eye looks here, and then secondarily, we look there. So I hope that makes sense. And this works for every human, everybody. High contrast equals high attention. So let's dive into this. I'm going to make a little design here, kind of sort of a review of what we did the other day. Okay. And by the way, you know, we've got something up here, and now you're going to go down, look down here. And I want to make this feel a little different than that, right? If we live in Cincinnati, we don't want to go to Hawaii and have Hawaii feel like Cincinnati. We want to have a different experience. So I'm just going to do something down here that's kind of a little different, right? But you're noticing these things because there's value contrast. So I'm going to adjust these things so they're making a little bit more interesting, right? So this is Cincinnati, you know, and this is Hawaii down here, really different. And maybe I'll add something over here that's different still. Now, we notice these things, all of these things, because there's value contrast. And up here, we have a value scale, right? So we talk about values in terms of lightness and darkness, right? A value number 1 is basically white, and then value number 10 is black. And as you come down, it goes very, very white, almost white, gets a little gray. The middle are those mid-tones. They're right in the middle, right? They're right in the middle between black and white. They're kind of mid-gray. And then down here, 8, 9, 10 are kind of dark. And this is in your workbook, so have a look at that. The light values, the middle values, and the dark values. It makes sense, right? But it's kind of cool to be able to say it's a number 1, it's a number 2, right? Okay, so when you create strong contrast, like I just did, this is what we call at Art2Life the loud conversation, okay? It's really bold because when we have high contrast, which we do right now, basically using black on white, your eye notices this. So the loud conversation is the loud contrast, the thing that reaches out and shakes you. You know, the loud conversation, it's what you see. It's literally like somebody yelling at you. That's the loud conversation. You know, I often describe it like you're driving down the road in a sports car, you're going 50 miles an hour, and you're shooting past, you know, you're on Melrose, and then your eye catches something as you go by a gallery, right? And you notice a painting in the window. It's like, whoa, that was cool. And you pull over, and you get out, and you run back to look at it. What you saw when you were just like bombing down the road was the loud conversation. That's got to look really exciting, you guys. That has to be really important. It's got to be really good. And how do we do that? We use design. We use variety. Make some things big. Like, I'll improve this design right now. I'm going to make this even bigger. And you're going to like it even more. Why? Because this is now more different than this. Right? And I'll add, look, I'm going to add a little tiny thing here. The design got better still. And again, we want to have value contrast. This is just kind of something to remember. Your art will just work better. Don't just put high value contrast in one spot. Have it in, like, think of it 4 quadrants. You kind of want to just have it in all areas a little bit. Why? Because you're like a travel agent. You want to send your visitor's eye to go to a bunch of places, to experience, they can start in Minneapolis, and then they can go to Hawaii, and then they go over to Pluto, and then they can come over here to Mexico, right? Like, that's a great trip. That's a great experience. You're going to curate that for them, but you want them to look kind of generally all around. That's just kind of like, a lot of times people get stuck, and it's because we're just looking in one spot. We don't want to look in one spot. Everyone wants to feel more alive. So you got to make that happen for them. Give them different experiences. Okay, that's important. Now, I'm going to talk about what happens to me, to everybody, and this is what happens. You start out, I know I hear this a lot, like people are starting out like, it's so good, it's so fresh, and then it just gets kind of tired and the thing just falls apart. And I'm going to explain how to, not only why that happens, but how to fix it, okay? So what happens is, we got something going, it's kind of good, but you want to keep adding to it. And so you keep adding to it. And it's like, okay, this feels good. I'm like in the flow here. It's looking great. And you start adding things, you're talking on the phone. It's going good, right? And we're adding stuff in here. And it's like, well, if it felt good to do 3 things, it probably feels great to do 27 things. I'm just going to keep going. And we just keep going. And notice that the values kind of, they're all dark, but there's all kinds of variety of them. And we just kind of keep going. We're adding things in. Let me know in the chat who understands what I'm doing right now, because this is a real problem. It's this busy thing. In Art2Life, we call it a garage sale. Literally, we could have called it that, the cupboard, the closet, right? That's it. That's what I'm trying to visualize. This happens in our art, and this is how it looks. And you guys, I'm doing it really fast, but literally, you can get the same feeling, Everything is in here. You got all these shapes, and it's all starting to kind of run together. And remember that design I had back there that was kind of cool? Like, you can't see it now. That's what's nuts, okay? So how we fix, you got the chat is going crazy over here. Sarah, yes. Nancy, yes. You guys, this is how you fix it. I know we get here. I'm going to show you how to fix it. This is a huge value bomb, okay? Here's the ninja move. You don't have to throw away all those clothes. You don't have to throw away the wardrobe. You don't have to start over. Here's what you do. You convert the noticeability. You convert a lot of these things to what we call the quiet conversation. So check it out. I'll try and show you. You come in, and they're not going to go away. You're still going to see them. But that shape right there, it's still there, right? But it becomes more subtle. It's still there. I'm going to keep them all. The reason I'm rolling with this paper towel is because it kind of adjusts you can still see them. They're all in here, everything. I didn't throw anything away. In fact, I want it. We were talking about mistakes. I'm kind of using mistakes right now. This is a train wreck that I just created, but watch how it's getting better, okay? Like, this is why you want mistakes, because where I'm going to end up is going to be way better than it looked when it was just those 3 or 4 shapes for that loud conversation. We are creating what's called the quiet conversation. You guys getting this? Okay. Okay, good. Yeah. DJ saying, I have so many loud conversations. Yeah. If everything's loud, how do you know what you love? Right? It's like the house with all the stuff packed in it. Okay? Here it is again. Right? This is what we had when we have differences. Okay, now you can see it. Right? We have everything is still there. But this is high contrast. It's really, really loud. But what looks so amazing with being really loud is being really quiet. This is all subtle. You guys are experiencing more of me. You're experiencing me, loud guy, I'm really tall, yelling at everybody, but also the more soft person, the quiet. And that's what's here. And when you put those two things together, the loud and the quiet, when that's in your art, it is emotional. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's when they exist together, the work feels sophisticated. It feels intentional. It feels magnetic. And I mark my words, if you can get this, and people will say it with your work, they'll go, I don't know why I just love this, but I do, I just love it. And they buy it. What they're feeling is this hierarchy. They're feeling clarity. It's not stark, like black and white, 5 shapes or whatever. There's all this subtlety mixed in. It's really cool, and you can feel it when you look at it. It's a felt thing. That's what I love about this. Okay, and one thing, because a lot of questions are going to come out. Does that mean, Nick, that these midtones you can't use them? No, but if everything was in the middle, then we don't have any contrast. So if I wanted to make something mid-value, right? Like watch, here's a mid-value. I'm right around 5, right? I'm making that mid-value, and I put it in here. You can see it, and it's kind of refreshing, right? Because we have a mid-value. We don't have a lot of mid-value, so you've added one. I'm going to make it a more interesting. I looked at this and I said, wow, it's exactly the size of the circle. So I'm just going to adjust this so it's something that's a little more unique for this picture. Maybe this is what I want to do, whatever, right? But do you get it? So mid-values are perfectly fine. Okay. All right, so again, check this out. All the work you love, Nan and Diana and Heather, everything, Linda, everything all the art you love, the stuff that you pin on your wall, all of it, the reason you love it is because this is going on. And if you're hearing this for the first time, your art has the potential to just explode here. And so let's go see if we can find it in super strong, dynamic artwork. And let me say, it appears in all kinds of art, realistic art, abstract art. It appears in sculptures. So check this out. This is Mark Bradford, LA-based artist. And what I've done here in these slides is, this is a giant picture, by the way. It's like 25 feet wide. And it's made of it's a collage, but it's made of all this paper. And if you look on the left, you've got all those little strong darks, right? All those little darks. But can you see in the color version, all those subtleties in it? That's all the quiet. The left is the loud conversation. And yeah, that's got to look good. So when you're driving in the sports car, you see that. And why is that interesting? All kinds of variety. Your eye goes everywhere in the picture. There's long straights, there's little squares, a whole bunch of squares at the top. Do you see that? That little picture on the left is why this painting works, but it is emotional and amazing because all that little subtlety, all those stains in there, right? This is Henry Taylor, and this is this beautiful installation. The loud conversation is pretty easy to see. It looks like what I just did. It's like strong, these dark pieces of wood. But the quiet conversation are the shadows. Do you guys see that? It's an installation, it's sculpture. So you've got this loud and the quiet. Yeah, Lawrence is saying, what you say opens up exciting new perspectives for me. Hello, yes. This is all the great work has this. You got to learn this. You got to learn this, you guys. Here's a picture. I think this is from the 15th century. It's from Iran. I couldn't find the artist, but check it out. Look at the quiet conversation. Look at the loud conversation on the left. On the right is the biggest thing in the picture is a camel. And you would think, being the biggest thing, that's what you'd see first, but you don't, because of the value contrast. And look at how your eye moves around. It's up in the top left, some value contrast, a little in the middle, on the sides, at the bottom. The reason that guy's hat in the upper left is dark blue is so you look up there, because that artist back then understood. He wants your eye to move around, just travel around, go to all these places. And your eye really does that. I love this painting. It's like, and you don't even see the camel at first. The camel is part of the quiet conversation. Isn't that amazing? I mean, here's Agnes Martin even, right? Like, it's so simple, right? It's two things, high contrast and subtlety. And this one of Andrew Wyeth, right? Look at the design's so amazing, right? But look at the loud and quiet conversation. A giant dark shape with her hair is this small shape. And look at the thin little lines of that wire or whatever, that rope on the ceiling. Those are opposites, by the way. And we're talking about design now, right? Like, what could be more different than a giant black shape? This thin, scratchy little black line. It's so emotional. And the curves of the torso with the straights and the angles, right? But it's that loud conversation on the left that makes this painting this painting. Bryce Martin, completely different kind of work. And I love this slide because he really takes you can see it here. On the left are just all these cool squiggle lines, right? It's kind of beautiful. But look on the right. See all those, there's all those other lines. Those are his corrections. He's kind of painted them out, but they're still there. There's all the subtlety. This subtlety is emotional because it's not high contrast. And actually, I think it's all he just course corrected. He changed things. And it's on your left on your screen. Okay? Okay, so on your right, there's the loud conversation. This beautiful photograph by Eugene Smith. And when you look at it, on the left, the big version, there's all kinds of like branches and subtlety and lights and delicate things. But it's the right, that little high contrast. Look at the variety of shapes. The big darks, the little edges of the leaves. It's just so gorgeous. Cynthia's saying, my mind is blown. I love this, you guys, because this is what has to happen. This is how you start getting your art amazing. Here's an interior. Axel Vervoort, incredible designer. And this photograph, look at that, the whole room. Look at the loud conversation of that. They needed something dark on the couch, so they went down to the neighbor's house and they grabbed that cat and they stuck it there with that black face. That little face of the cat, even though it's not part of the interior, is really important in that picture. Why? Because it's sitting next to a really big black thing called the fireplace. Isn't that beautiful? And the subtlety, amazing. Okay, so I'm going to keep rolling with this, you guys, and I want to introduce Nadine Johnson. She's a Calgary-based abstract painter whose work grows from layers of collage, color, and lived experience. She paints intuitively, letting memory, place, and personal history guide the process. So super honored today to have Nadine, my friend, artist, and of course, Art2Life Coach, join us live in the studio. Nadine, thanks for being here, coming on today. How are you doing?
Hi, Nick. Good. I'm excited to be here. It's been a great day so far. So.
Yeah, so good. Okay, so let's look at your work here.
Okay.
All right. So I did the same thing. I took these are recent pictures from a show of yours, right? You just had a solo show.
Yeah, in early February. So actually Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
And so I took the liberty of showing everybody the loud conversation, because sometimes when it's all the colors and everything, it's kind of hard to see, right? But this picture on the right has this loud conversation, and that's what kind of makes it interesting. So as we kind of scroll through these, you guys, I want you to try to, look at the painting and then look at the loud conversation and kind of go back and forth. And while we're doing that, I thought I'd maybe just start here by saying, asking, I know you've made art a long time, but when you began, like early on, did you have a sense about, these principles of design, but especially value? Like how was it before that? I guess, just sort of take us back a little bit, because your work's just exploded in the last few years.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. I remember I used to paint really high realism, and I love flowers, I love landscape and things like that. And I used to work from a photo reference. And I remember the hardest part was I didn't really have an idea about design and value, and so it could take me so long to get a painting to where it needed to be, or where I felt that it was finished. I just didn't understand. No one shared that with me, and I didn't go to art school. I was fortunate enough to work with some artists, but no one talked about it ever. So I could paint 10 paintings, and one or two of them would work, but it was such a struggle. And then I found Art2Life, and so this, just watching the presentation before you're sharing my work, just brought me back to the very first time that I took the workshop, and it was like a light bulb moment for me, because I understood why I couldn't make my paintings work every time, because I didn't realize that there was this distinction between light and dark, contrast, value, design. I didn't understand that relationship and why we need to have that in order to make paintings work.
Yeah, and this thing of like, you almost feel like you get lucky, you do a whole bunch of things, and then once in a while one turns out, and then you do 3 that are terrible, and you don't know why, and that's what's so challenging.
Yeah, and now it's incredible. Like I now know, and I don't worry, because I have that information in my head. I know the principles of like how to make it work. I understand, right? And so it's been really a gift. So and this work, it was challenging for me, but it was so fun. And it's like we've been playing here all week, and I'm just not worried about it, right? I know how to fix it and make it work.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, because once it's like driving a car, once you know how to back up the car and drive forward in the car, when you get to a roadblock, you just simply back the car up and turn around and go someplace else. And that's how it is. That's why these principles, especially value, they allow you to just know that even if it goes haywire, you can always figure it out. And I know you do that a lot, and that gives you confidence, and that lets you be more free, which is we've been talking about all week. Like that's how we want you guys to be when you're making your art. Why? Because it shows who you are. That's the best version of you, when you're like, I can just do it. I'm free. I don't care. I'm not like too old to do this. I don't care if people don't like my art. I'm having a ball, And so I know that you kind of find your way and you cover up, and there's a lot of course corrections, which I think is what makes your art so interesting. Could you just talk about how much of course correcting you do? Because it's really apparent in the work. I just love that about it.
Yeah, I think the most important part for me, it's the paint. I love to play with the paint and the materials and collage. I use collage in my work, and I love the history of that. So I work the surface a long time, and I paint over things, and I add paper and marks and scrape into it and things like that. And until it starts to talk to me, I don't worry about going over things multiple times. And sometimes I have to paint over things that I kind of like to improve the painting. And that's okay too, because it just makes the surface so much richer. There's just so many beautiful things that come through in the paint, all this sort of quiet conversation that happens. So that big blue shape that you see on the screen there now, there's papers in there. There's all these wonderful things that you see as you get closer to the painting. So it's really, really, it's so rich, and that's the thing that I love the most, is that the paint, the quality of the paint just gets so yummy, and
Wow. Yeah. Nadine, listen, thanks so much for sharing this. We're going to be working with Nadine in a few minutes more, but just, sharing your art and especially your insights. It's so good to, when we see it in other people's work, it's really, really clear. So you guys, we're going to get ready to do some art together. But before we do, I want you to listen to this musical example of the loud and quiet. Yes, this is in music too, all art, all expression. It begins with a loud conversation, you'll hear it, but then this violin comes in and it's the quiet conversation. And these two, you can hear them together, and it's just a perfect example of the beauty and the emotion that happens when you have a clear, loud conversation and a clear, quiet conversation coming together. And right towards the end, the quiet conversation kind of ends. And it's so emotional. So have a listen, and then I'll meet you over to the art table in just a second. Okay. Hey everybody, okay. So before we start, I just want to say welcome to my friend. She's a studio right across the hall, Bibby Gignilliat. Thanks for being here. You're so sweet. She had this big workshop, so she's here today helping us. It's so good. Bibby's going to be a guest teacher in the Creative Visionary program this year, so I'll be sharing more about that on Friday. But Bibby, welcome, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. We also have Claire Kennedy virtually. She's a guide this year with Art2Life, and a member of the creative team. She joins us remotely. I'm not sure where you are, Claire, but hi, Claire. Nice, thanks for being here. It's so fun. So we got, oh, there you are. Hi.
Hi there, it's lovely to be here.
Okay, great. So, and of course we have Kate and Insa and Nadine. Yeah, everyone's here. Okay, good. All right. So, again, let me just emphasize, underscore, remind always, especially when starting, and do this bloom practice, right? There's no wrong way to do it. You know, we're trying to learn how to be free, right? So what we were talking, Nadine was talking about that. You just want to be free with this. But we're going to try something a little different today. And you can use what you started yesterday, or you can start brand new, doesn't matter. But in real short, I'm just going to abbreviate it, the bloom practice, right? Go start from a feeling, feel that, right? And then just open to the feeling more and more. Like I'm just feeling like speedy. It's like how I'm feeling, just lots, I just feel like running. But then you open your eyes, and based on the feeling you have or want to have, just start choosing the materials you want, and kind of, let's just get this going. So we're going to just kind of get rolling here. And all of us, some of us are starting fresh, some of us, I'm going to go into this thing because I didn't really, you know, it's kind of fun to have some stuff to already start with. And then I'll tell you what we're doing. So let's just spend a few minutes getting these things going. Notice also that when you come back to something the next day, it's completely different. Like what I'm about to do, I never would have done yesterday. Now, Nadine, you're doing the same, you're working on the thing you did yesterday?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back into this collage and start working paint. I'll probably end up painting and maybe going, once it's dry, going back in with more collage again. So,
Great. Yeah, okay, cool. And what are you using? You've got all this Bibby comes with all the most amazing collage papers from all over the world. You have
These are scraps found on the streets of everywhere I go.
Yeah.
I put them in my suitcase and I bring them back home with me.
Oh my God, let me see that. That's so cool.
And then my students bring them to me. So this was from a student, Stacy from Houston. She brought them in a suitcase for the workshop this
Oh
weekend.
my God, that's so
So
fun.
great. Yeah, super
Yeah.
fun.
Bibby's studio, you guys, she has this table in the middle filled with stuff. I mean, just so much collage stuff, collage materials.
That's the first time I met you, Bibby.
I know.
We were in New York and Bibby was taking the
A Rob Zott workshop.
Oh, really?
the papers off the construction or whatever.
yeah.
Remember you
Yeah.
rolled it up.
I found this big pile on the street of New York, and I brought it home with me, and I took it out of my suitcase and brought it to the studio. And that night I got home and I found a cigarette butt in my kitchen floor, and I was like, oh my God. I thought someone had been in my house, and then I realized, oh. It was
Oh, God. Wow. Okay, so just get some marks down. And I know some of you yesterday were like, I don't know what even to do. Just, if you don't know what to do, just close your eyes and do some stuff. This is what I do a lot, just wonk, wonk, wonk. And it's just so surprising. Like half the time you get it right, Just get some stuff going. That'll really help. I also roll paper towels. You saw I was doing that today. I love doing this, having these, a roll of paper towels is like a giant brush. So it's kind of good to have those. All right, we'll just spend a couple minutes getting this going, and then I'll tell you the next prompt that we're going to do. Enzo, what are you working on over there? Oh, you guys are all doing the same thing you did yesterday. You're all building off of what you did yesterday? Okay.
Yeah, I started with a different palette. My other one got too purple yesterday, so I've come in with some different colours.
Yeah, okay.
Just started building up some shapes.
What's always surprising, I don't know, we got 5 or 6 people. Claire, how are you going on this?
I'm really enjoying myself here.
Okay,
Great
do
fun.
we have a camera on you?
Yeah, that's
Oh, that's yours? Oh my God, I thought it was mine.
You're channeling
That kind of kills the point. I was just about to say, and no two people are the same. And I'm like, Claire and I are the same people, actually. She's my sister. We do always make art the same.
I didn't even notice that.
That's crazy. I love what you're doing.
That's
I mean, it is
strange.
totally different, but we have a similar palette going here. That's so funny. But the
You must
point
be bringing
is,
some Californian sun to me because normally I don't really use bright colors like this.
Claire, share with everyone where you're beaming in from.
I'm from Glasgow in Scotland. And I was just thinking, because a couple of days ago you were talking about how when you go to Mexico, your color palette kind of changes and it goes brighter,
Yeah.
or are you? And it got me thinking because actually most of my work tends to be quite sort of desaturated blues and sort of grungy textures and things like that. And actually a lot of this burnt sienna, which is, I think it's to do with my surroundings. I never thought of it before. Because coming from a sort of big grungy city, and the tenements actually here are red sandstone, which is this color. So that's normally what I work in. So I don't know why today I'm going for the brights.
Yeah. Yeah, so good. Well, thanks for being here. It's just kind of amazing that we can have people from all over the world. And while we're working, you guys, I saw some comments. How did that music hit you? Was that isn't that something? Like, anyone feel kind of emotional listening to that? I'm just kind of curious. Oh, yeah, there we go. Music can be a nice way to open the bloom. Oh, Lori adores your art, Bibby.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Right, but wasn't that something? That's it. It's the contrast, If we just had the violin, it just wouldn't have had the drama,
It's the layering makes it so deep, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It connects
yeah,
much more
yeah,
with something emotional
yeah.
because of these.
I mean, we
Woven.
got to wonder. It's important for us to think about what creates emotion. First for us, and then how do we communicate that? That's really kind of what we're learning here, It's so important.
Well, it's like going back to day day one. It's your intuition and your feelings and how you feel about moving the material, how you feel about what's happening on with the colors and the paint and the papers and then just, I don't know, dropping into it and doing more of that makes a big...
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, so here I wanted you to do, you get some marks down, get some things going. Now we're going to we've been playing, right? We're just messing around. We're still messing around, but I want you to do some experimentation. What I want you to do is, this is the application of the value in design. Look at your work, and if you look at what I'm doing here, you can get a camera on this. So if you can identify that question that we were saying all day, today, like, what do you love here? Or what's interesting to you, And for me, it's kind of this color here. Like, I like this little color, this little chip of color, or this color, actually, this kind of yellow color, this shape here. And I'm loving that kind of palette. So what I can do is I'm going to amplify it based on design. I'm going to make this shape, I'm going to go really big with this. So choose something in here and amplify it by design. And just make something really big. Just go much, much bigger with it. So that's what I'm going to do. And also, if we want to make something noticeable, we can, if I want you to look down here, like look at this, I can use value, specifically value contrast, to make you look over here. So figure out what you kind of love, like here. Now I'm adding value contrast. Look what happens. You see how that ignites it? So I'm going to make you look down here. I'm looking at this, and I'm going to make this bigger using design and value on top of this play experiment. This is beginning of taking these experiments and turning them into something you love. Really, really important. That's creation, Great. Okay. Yeah. Well, let me know if that lands for you. I'm going to show you what this looks like in a minute, and we're all going to try and do that. And you can. What'll happen is it changes your art really, really quickly. And generally, if you increase what you like, right, and it covers up a bunch of things you don't, when you look in that cupboard, you're going to see what you love, and that's going to feel good. That's kind of it. That's the thing. That's the simple reframe. Right now, I have a bit of the house with all the things in it, and nobody can know what I love. But I'm going to show you what I love in a minute. It's going to be very obvious. So I'm going to mix up a bunch of color. Okay, so.
And I'm doing it with
value. Yeah, what are you doing with you're using value contrast?
Well, I've just added some darks so that these are suddenly going to become flowers in a jug. So I've just come in with some literally black and these are going to jump forward and bring in some darks to make some contrast. So that, well, I haven't really built it out yet.
And the way, see here, contrasts are kind of, there's some in the top, some on the bottom, some on the side, and your eye definitely moves around. Remember I was saying that is kind of an important thing to have in your work. Now look, see how mine's just like, I just love this so much more. I am going for it. Is it a little scary and vulnerable to kind of like really show you what you love? Yeah, a little bit. But that's the whole point. Now we're getting there.
That's better.
Are you guys seeing how like radically different this picture just got? And do I want to, so we're looking down here. There's value contrast. Let's get somebody to look up there. I'm going to bring in some value contrast right up here. And maybe I want someone to look, where aren't we looking? Maybe like here. You see how we're using design here? Look, here, we go here, we have a different, maybe I'll make this bigger down here. Right? So it's not so much like that. Insa, what are you working on over there?
I'm overpainting and overpainting. I'll show you a little bit
Okay.
further. So I'm,
Come on over here, Hansa.
I don't know, here. I'm,
Yeah, there you go.
I-
Just
I
put it
did
down.
this-
Put it down. You can put it down right.
okay.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so,
I overpainted the whole center area, but I like to carve into what I've already painted to get my movement back.
mm-hmm.
So I painted it white or creamy white, and then I drew in, and now I'm putting some darks around, so to make it.
You just gave me the idea to like draw back in.
Yeah, quick, we'll have some of that.
Yeah. Nadine, so how's that going over there? Oh, that's the, you know, when you bring value contrast in, even I'm sitting at the table, right away, it's like it just, the value contrast gives the thing power. And you just, that was really good what you just did. That's something cool.
Yeah, and I like that the paper, you see, I don't know if you can see it through the camera, but all the little wrinkles and the textures from the collage that was there, I think is what makes it so interesting. And these little polka dots, I love that.
And they're all subtle now. See,
Yeah.
now all this is the quiet conversation.
Yeah.
Now there's quiet. You made this quiet and quiet. High contrast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you simmered this down a lot, right? You took a lot of that, all those noisy pieces of paper, you
Yeah.
know. Now, Bibby, what do you got going over
Got a
here?
little hot mess over here,
What kind of hot?
but I'm just having fun.
She's just having fun, and that is okay, right?
The thing is, this is just an underpainting, so it's like,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
There you
right?
go.
So it's all about.
Oh, wait, here, let's see. Okay, yeah. Now, so you've got this huge dark area. What part of this are you, not that is there anything happening for you? And I know this is how we go. We try a bunch of things, and then it's like, what parts kind of got energy for you? What do you like?
This is sort of the focal point.
Uh-huh.
So I was trying to, it's a lot because of the stop and everything.
Right.
So I was trying to quiet it down by bringing in black.
Yeah, and you can bring it over here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm going to bring it down.
and that's Bibby Pink.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I was on a trip with Nick, and I had this crazy color of pink, and he said he didn't like pink. This was years ago.
Yeah,
And everyone was borrowing my pink all week, and so eventually you added a pink to the Art2Life.
yeah. I was like, oh my God, Bibby, this
Look.
pink, you know. Yeah,
Look
here
at
it
that.
is.
There we
Here
go.
it is. Yeah, and I was, you know, I'm like, God, I just, why would you even bring this fluorescent pink? And everyone in this retreat was using it, you know, and I kept looking over like, God, people love this pink. It's like, what's wrong with me? So then I started using pink, and if you look at my work from back then, it's like I brought in this pink the whole time. How's this going, you guys? You getting this? Yeah, value contrast, right? Do more of what you love. Look at what happened to this picture. It just got like, it's just way cooler, you know? This is the power of value and design, you know? Okay, you guys, outstanding ideas. Juanita, great. Are we all painting in acrylics?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we're using collage and crayons and everything. Megan's saying, I love thinking about value as loud and soft. Yeah, like, you guys, this is the loud conversation is this. Watch, I'll add a little something to the loud conversation. It'll, like, I'm gonna make you look here. You see how, I don't know if you can see that, like it makes a difference.
Yeah, it's good.
That's the loud conversation. If I do a little bit of quiet conversation here, this is all quiet. It doesn't really change the art very much. It's subtlety, which we want to have. There's lots of subtlety, and we want both. So that's what the game is. We can convert these things, choose what you want, amplify it. It always starts, playing is like, it just looks like that closet. That's fine. We don't want to just do that our whole life. So the point isn't to just do that. The point is to be able to do that and have fun, but then using our intellect, right? We've been using our intuition just to throw stuff down, but then we use our intellect and we go, oh yeah, I love this. How do I do more of that? I know I can make us look at it using value contrast. I can change the sizes of things so people notice what it is that I love. And then when you see it in your work, I mean, I love this so much more because why? I took the part that I loved and I made it really big. So all the parts I didn't got covered up. So I've got more energy to just work on this. Like, I like this, you know, I could hang this in my office right now, you know. Okay. All right, we're cruising over here. Amazing, amazing. Okay. All right. So again, the entryway bloom is perfect for beginners. Feel free. You got to do that. You got to get that every single time, right? And that's the time of the day when you get these 20 minutes. Like, I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is just this. I hope it's the best part of your day. It is for us.
It's fun, yeah.
I mean, this thing ends and we just kind of keep rolling. All right. Before we go, I want to give away that Art2Life art kit, or it's it's the entry for that. So everyone watching, and I'm seeing Annie and Beth and Eve. Here's the prompt. Here's the question. What's the one thing you love in your art and life that you want everybody to know about? So this is a good one, right? Oh my God, you guys are so great being here all the way. I love that you stayed. Claire, what's the one thing in your life, what's the one thing you love in your art and life? What's one of the one things? Nadine, what's it for you?
I think that I get to I get to play every day. It's a gift, really.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
And the community.
Yeah.
Those two are kind of like equal.
Yeah, so I love all these comments coming in. Beautiful. Color, humanity,
I love color.
joy. Oh my God. All right, so let me just do a quick summary just to like keep this in our mind. We covered value today. And we learned, I hope you learned once and for all, that age doesn't matter when it comes to art making. It's a wisdom practice. We learned about value contrast, so important. In life too, right? The Marie Kondo closet thing. We learned about the loud and quiet conversation in art. Really important in all kinds of art. You remember that music. And then we used the bloom practice to get our art going, directed by our feelings initially and our intuition. And then we started to layer on top of that the principles of value and design to amplify what we love. For me, it was like this yellow color. Right? I wanted to that shape and just like, got really big. Anyway, I want you to just keep remembering your intuition is the voice of your soul. And it's where all your amazing art and life are going to originate from. Mm-hmm. It's just really we're going to keep coming back to that. You've got everything you need, you guys, right? Like you're just starting here. You're just starting to understand it. It's an awareness. Okay, so tomorrow, each day this week at 6 a.m., I'll send out that intro video about that upcoming live studio training at 12 p.m. Tomorrow, the secrets of color. It's a huge day. For many people, it's one of the best days besides Friday. It's all about the art principle of color, and I'll be showing you the dazzling connection between what we've been doing today, value and color. There's a connection there that you're going to love it. So we have more guests, more art making, more giveaways, and it's just going to be really, really fun. So I hope you keep making art and just keep going on this, you guys. We're going to keep going. I love that you're here today. Thank you so much. And thanks so much for everyone being here, Claire, everybody. And we will see you tomorrow, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for color. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.